Hi, my name is Eli. I'm with Cliff Hardware in Sharonville, Ohio. Today I'm just going to do a brief video on the different parts inside your toilet tank. There's not much to it. It's normally an easy repair as long as you know what you're working with. I have all the parts here in front of me, and I'm going to demonstrate an actual toilet so you can see how the parts work. The object of this video is just to give you an idea of how to repair things yourself. That way you don't have to call a plumber up, spend hundreds of dollars on something you can just go to your local hardware store and pick up for $10 to $20. Mostly everything inside the toilet is a fairly easy fix and very inexpensive. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take you to one of the toilets in the restroom here and show you the different parts. So underneath the toilet tank you're going to have a shutoff valve and a supply line running up into the toilet and connecting to the fill valve. When you get inside, this here is going to be your fill valve that allows the water to come up into the tank. Next to that is going to be the flush valve. This is what allows the water to run into the bowl. And your flush valve is going to have a flapper connected to it. And connecting to the flapper is your chain and your toilet handle. So when you lift up on the handle, that raises the flapper and allows the water to run into the bowl. When you release the handle, that flapper is going to fall back down, preventing any more water to go into the bowl, and it's going to fill your tank back up. As the water rises, it's going to lift the float on the fill valve until that float rises and shuts the valve off. We'll go ahead and release that. And that's the basics of inside the toilet tank. You can also see a couple of bolts. Those two bolts on either side of the flapper are what hold the tank to the bowl itself. And the only other part you may have to replace after a while is underneath the toilet. You got your flange bolts. Underneath there you can have a flange mounted to the floor and a wax ring that seals the toilet base to the floor. Okay, now that we've seen how the parts work in an actual toilet, I'm just going to go over each individual part with you here, just so you can see it outside of the toilet, get a little bit more familiar with them, just to make it easier for you when you get started for your toilet repair. The first thing we're going to show you is this toilet flange. This is what's mounted on your floor directly underneath the toilet. Now you have your flange bolts. Normally you have one on either side, slide right into the grooves here, and that's going to secure the toilet to the floor. Now in between the toilet and this flange, to make a good seal, you're going to have a wax ring. Now these come in a couple different sizes, and all you do is you shove that up against the base of your toilet and then put the toilet on top of the flange, and that wax just molds itself and makes a good seal so you don't get any leaking onto the floor. Now the next part we saw in the bathroom there was the shutoff valve. Now the shutoff valve is normally connected to a piece of half-inch copper coming out of your wall. Then your supply line is going to connect directly to the shutoff valve, and that's going to go right up to your fill valve at the toilet tank. Now the supply lines come in a couple different sizes. If you're not quite sure, you can always get a longer one and just loop it around, and that gets connected directly to the fill valve. Now your fill valve is going to be secured in the toilet tank with a rubber washer and a nut. Now what this does is as the water rises in the tank, it pushes up on the float till it gets to the top and shuts the water off. These are adjustable, so if you want to adjust the water level inside the tank, you just slide this little locking washer up, turn it to the left to raise the water level, turn it to the right to lower your level. Then just pull that washer right back down into place to lock it. Now the next part was your toilet handle. And one key thing to remember when you're replacing a toilet handle is that the nut removes by turning it to the right. Everybody's taught righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. This can be the exact opposite. So if I want to loosen that up there, I'm just going to turn that clockwise to the right. That comes right back, right off. Slide it into the tank if I'm putting a new one on. And turn that to the left to tighten it. Tighten right up. That's a common mistake we see fairly often. Now the next part was the flush valve and the flapper. Ours was similar to this, different brand but real similar to this one. So you have your chain which is connected to your handle. If you want to flush the toilet, you lift up on the handle, flapper pulls up, water will rush down into the bowl to make the flush. When the water is all out of the tank, flapper falls back down making the seal, and the water comes back up from the fill valve until the float on the fill valve gets to the top. Another style that's pretty common around this area is a Mansfield flush valve. This one, instead of having the chain, the handle will go right through the slot here, lift up, water rushes in. When the water's out of the tank, that falls back down, makes a seal on this washer. So when you're looking to do a repair on your toilet, the most common thing is going to need to be replaced is going to be either the washer on your flush valve or your flapper. So shut the water off, take your flapper down to your local hardware store, match it up, because like I said, there are different brands. There's quite a few different types of flappers. So just bring it down to the hardware store, they'll match it up. And on this one, real simple repair. All you do is just slide it right off. Pops right off. You take your new one, slides right back on. Less than 10 seconds. This style here just has a rubber washer, fits in a groove. New rubber washers, just a couple dollars. Just make sure it goes right back in that groove. That's all there is to it. Basically, this video is to help you and save you from a $100, $200 bill from a plumber. All this is between $10 and $20 on each individual repair. Easy to do yourself, as long as you know what part you're working with and how the part works. And that's what this video was designed for. If you have any questions, you can reach us at 563-6415, area code 513, or you can check us out on our website at cliffshardware.com. We have a contact page on there. Just fill out the information that comes right to us, and we can answer any questions you have. Thank you.